How is it going, all you wonderful people? Welcome back to Kawa Couple. How's it going? Hey, that's McDonald's. I don't want coffee right now. I'm already hyper enough from having a few coffees at home. But it is a beautiful day so far. It's quite sunny. And as you guys can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about the Ninja 650, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Ooh, the wind. The wind is cold. No wind. So basically, let's start with the good. Well, power is good. The 650 cc's definitely help. It's nice to have a little bit more weight. It's nice to have a little bit more girth, I guess, to the bike. It just has an overall better feel than a 300. So one of the things I like about this bike for sure is the fact that it just feels very light, but it's not. So that's good. And I think it's a big selling point on this bike. Now, I am talking about this bike after riding her for barely 500 kilometers. So it's not even that long, in terms of riding. But there are some, big key things that I learned during these 500 kilometers. Now, it goes without saying that having a gear indicator and having fuel gauge and temperature gauge and all the goodies, yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's obviously going to be a good thing no matter what bike you put it on. It just helps out the rider. It's nothing more than a rider's aid. Is it a necessity? I don't think it's a necessity. A lot of stuff are not necessities, but they make your life a little better. So, yeah, in that case, you want it. And this bike has it. It has all of it. At night, the bike, basically the instrument panel is just nice and clear. It lights up. So, it's nice to have that aspect of it. I just stalled my bike. Can you believe it? So, yeah, basically, it's very, very easy to ride this bike. It's very, very light. But is this a wonderful bike? Absolutely it is. One of the greatest things about this bike, I believe, is the fact that I think a new rider, or a relatively new rider, I should say, could get on this bike and ride this bike. It really is a comfort thing. If you're comfortable riding a bigger engine, then yeah, it's definitely worth the investment into this kind of bike. One of the other good things about this bike is the mirrors. It's one of those mirrors I can see everything. I really can. The way I have it positioned anyway, I can see behind me, and I'm not joking when I say this, guys, pretty much as good as I can see my car. And that says a lot. One of many people complain about mirrors on bikes. You have to do the little chicken wing thing lots of times so you can look between your body and your arm. Everybody has their own little tricks of how they're gonna look through the mirror. Through the mirror, but that will be helpful. Look at the mirror and to see what's behind them. This bike literally offers you a wonderful, wonderful view of the mirrors. Everything that's behind me, I can clearly see it, and that's important. I mean, that goes without saying. That's extremely important. The quick pickup of this bike, it definitely is a nice thing. She picks up really quick. If you gotta go, you gotta go. Well, you can. So it's nice to have that quickness. The upright position, as I mentioned it a number of times, I do have back problems, and this bike, basically, I never feel any discomfort being on this bike. And I've ridden for 2-3 hours at a time, and frankly, I've never felt bad on this bike. Another good thing, at least in my mind anyway, is the bike has a fuel range. So that's down there. Currently it tells me I have about 240 kilometers on this tank of gas. Now, I know it's not the most important thing, and once again, it kind of goes back to that whole gear indicator thing. Is it a necessity? Absolutely not. It's not a necessity, but it's nice to have, yes. If I'm planning out a little bit of a day trip, I kind of want to have an idea of how much fuel I'm going to have and how many stops I'm going to make. And that way I can plan out my stops a lot better as well. But 240 kilometers on the full tank, I'll tell you guys, that's quite a bit. So I'm pretty happy with that type of mileage on a full tank. So that's kind of nice. And there's the pickup. And that sound, boys, boys and girls, that sound is awesome too. So that's actually another good thing I'm gonna put under. Yeah, I mean, I really have to tell you guys, I have a hard time, with the idea of changing the exhaust on this bike. It's quiet when it has to be. It's got a rumble at higher RPMs. Honestly, I think as far as stock exhausts go, this is not a bad exhaust. And honestly, this exhaust, it's not obnoxious, but it does have a rumble when you decide to rev it. There is something there, and it's kind of nice. So I don't mind going at 2 o'clock in the morning, going through neighborhoods. I know I'm not going to be pissing off anybody. Nobody's going to call cops on me or so forth and so on. Another motorcycle. So it's definitely one of those nice things. I don't know. I'm still unsure if I'm going to change the exhaust. That's my feeling on it at the moment. But I'm definitely going to put the exhaust under a good. Now, just so that this video doesn't get totally dragged out, let's quickly jump over to the bad. Basically, I don't have a lot of bad things to say about this bike, so I actually had to search for stuff. So the bad things, I'm gonna nitpick, okay? So I'm gonna go with that. So I couldn't find too much, okay? So give me a break here. So the bad things, number one, I would have to say would be the headlights. The headlights, I mean, I love the look of the bike. I just hate the way that the bulbs are. I mean, those yellow, yucky, barely give off any light. They weren't any fun. So I changed mine over to the PI headlights, to the PI bulbs. They definitely made a massive difference, and even the bike looks much, much better with that on. So yeah, that's a bad. Second bad, which is bad on all bikes, you're gonna need a fender eliminator. Ultimately, having that big piece stick out, it just looks ugly. I have absolutely no respect for those things. So that's why this bike ended up with a fender eliminator, because that thing was ugly. Now, I'm not saying that's obviously exclusive to this bike. That's pretty much every darn bike. So fender eliminator is pretty much a must if you care at all about how your bike looks. I don't necessarily want to put this under bad, but when you have all the badging on the bike and what this, what that, well, I basically wanted to debadge the bike. Basically, that just means on top I'm supposed to have a little a graphic kit that says 650 on it. I got rid of that basically the first day. Actually never even got to me because I asked the dealership to take it off. And believe it or not, guys, that's all I have for bad. I've searched, I've thought about this. I cannot find a single other thing that I can say is bad. There's just too many good things on this bike. Oh no, wait, I can say something else is bad. Now, if you're a YouTuber, on this bike there's a lot of curves, and hard curves, not soft curves. So if you're a YouTuber on this bike, mounting your camera is going to be, especially on your bike, it's going to be a total nightmare. So that camera right there, the amount of things I had to go through to find that one little spot, just to put that camera up, it was a nightmare. So I guess that's a bad thing, but then at the same time, those nice beautiful curves actually make the bike look better. But I guess that can be a bad thing. See, I'm trying. I'm like really reaching here, guys. So I'm gonna kind of stop with the bad. How's it going? So let's reach for it a little bit. The ugly. Well, I guess the ugly thing in the beginning of this bike, when you first buy it, is there's a good noticeable vibration on the bike. But again, that's pretty much all I could find in terms of the ugly. So yeah, I can't really tell you anything else when it comes to ugly. The vibration, however, gets a little better as time goes on. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you. Thank you very much for watching. We love you. Until next time, goodbye. See ya.